Everyone wants to know how you got started.
With what?
Music.
Oh, I thought you meant my family.
Oh, Lord, help us. Oh,
No,
Lord, help us.
So I got started. I'd say my grandmother probably prayed for us as kids. My dad was a minister and still is. Church was up pretty much all of our, You ever heard of anybody that had a drug problem? They was drugged from church to church to church every Sunday? That was me. I mean, we made up reasons to go to church, and that was our life. And so whatever was missing, like instrument-wise, like if somebody didn't show up at our church to play drums, they were out doing something, then I played drums. And if somebody didn't show up to play bass, then I played bass. It might not have been right, but I tried. And that's kind of how the music came, about, and enjoyed it, Then Dad started writing songs. Everybody started really getting interested into music. That's really what brought me back to the Lord, because I kind of got out of the way of the Lord and got rebellious around 15 years old, and got angry, and the Lord hooked me with music and drugged me to Him, and now I get to do what He brought me back to Him with. So,
how old were you when you started traveling on the road as a family? Like, how old were you?
How old was I? Mm-hmm. I was almost 17. Yeah, my first road trip out on the road. I think it was, somebody says it was at the Ocean Opry in Panama City area. I don't know if that was the first road trip at all or not. I think it was Benton Harbor, Michigan, which I could be wrong. Could have been the Ocean Opry. But anyways, I was 17 years old. And
you've been doing this ever since you were 17?
I've been traveling for over 170 dates a year for the last 26 years.
Well, are we glad that he's traveling? Yes. What's your favorite song? Do you have a favorite one of all your songs?
Like gospel?
Any song. Like if you would say, this is my favorite song the Lord has brought me to sing, do you have one?
Oh, gospel.
Gospel, but what, do you have one particular song? You're like, no.
I
know Through the Fire is sort of your signature song.
No, that's different.
Okay, because that's your family. Okay.
Through the Fire is the song that I'm most thankful for a lot of reasons. Some of you would never even heard of the Crabb family had it not been for that song. Or I would have never gotten to probably play Carnegie Hall and Brooklyn Tab had it not been for that song. And so I'm very, very thankful for that song. I'm also thankful for that song because it came out right during the time me and my wife had 2 miscarriages back to back. And that song was a song that came out. And
through difficult times.
Yeah.
You were having difficult times, and the Lord gave you a song.
Well, it gave my dad the song.
Your dad and your family.
And Dad gave it to me to sing. And so, man, am I thankful for that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We are too. The Lord is good. He knows what we need right at the right time.
Yeah. My favorite song, though, I think that, I don't know. It changes. It's hard to say. Like today, that thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. As I was singing that, I was like, that's my favorite song today. And then I was singing, God on the Mountain. I'm like, that's my favorite right now. You know what I mean? It's just like whatever you need hits you. But I don't know. The song Take It Easy by the Eagles is probably my favorite. No, I'm just kidding.
I found this to be interesting because I was trying to get some ideas of what to talk to Jason about on stage right now. And and this, I think the crowd will think this is interesting about your life.
Huh.
I would like you to tell them of how you've really dealt with anxiety and how you had panic attacks early on when you were traveling, and tell them about that.
Yeah.
Because it's just amazing that you've overcome that.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. It just hit me out of nowhere. I had always been one of those that loved to tackle adversity. You know, like they would give me a song. They'd be like, "Hey, will you sing this song tonight?" And my family would be like, "How would you do that?" Like at a Gaither video or something. And they go, "We want you to sing the second verse of this." Well, I wouldn't even know it. And I'd learn it. And it didn't bother me at all. Or in the middle of a big moment, I would go after a note that I'd never tried to go after before, ever, just singing. And so it's just, that was the way that I attacked things. And then something happened to where I started having some anxiety problems. And it got to a place to where I would have panic attacks really bad, like to a place to where I thought that I was dying. And I told my wife one day, I was in Gatlinburg, and we had 2 babies, and they was both in car seats. And I was putting them in the car, and I told my wife, I looked over at her and I said, "I hope you've got our insurance paid up and everything." I said, because there's no way that I can live the way that I feel. There's no way. And I said, I'm not saying that I'm going to take my life or something like that. It's just, there's no possible way physically that I'm going to make it living like this. And my brothers, we were singing at Dollywood actually, and my brothers went to the car and got a bottle of oil out of their glove compartment and rebuked the enemy and prayed over me and anointed me right there in the parking lot, back behind stage of a building just kind of like this, really. And everybody was thinking everything was going all right, And I was doing my best, get through that. And there would be sometimes that I would have to leave, like a concert. Like I would get to the second half and I'd go to the hospital. My blood pressure would be up. I'd be running like a fever, and I couldn't even finish. I didn't tell people what was going on. And I'm standing back there at the table and just almost shaking with a smile, trying to tell everybody, you know what I mean, encourage everybody and be there for everybody else and love on them, and knowing that, hey, this is how I make, how I pay for my light bill and all this kind of stuff. So you have to take care of people or they'll quit taking care of you, you know what I mean? And plus you want to hear their testimonies. And I'm sitting back there and listening to everybody, and I'm thinking, man, I'm about to explode. And but I just kept pushing through, and one day I heard that song, "I'd Rather Have Jesus," sang by a little gal in West Virginia that I have no clue what her name is. All I know is I was sitting on a corner of an old rundown motel room that the promoter had got us, and it was awful, the motel room. And the TV got a few channels, and one of them, thank you Jesus, was a local West Virginia Christian station. Now I'm telling you, you get some good stuff on that. And this little gal, she stepped out there and she started singing, "I'd Rather Have Jesus." It wasn't the greatest that I'd ever heard, but it was probably the most sincere voice I'd ever heard about the lyrics. And it just hit me, and I was crying. And I told my piano player that night, I said, just roll me out a key that you think I'd do this song in, and let's play it. And I started singing that. Little did I know that that would be my help out of that situation. And now I don't have any more panic attacks. There'll be times when I'll get, I'll still deal with anxiety. There's times that I've stood back at the table, and going, I don't know how much longer I can stand here, But I deal with that a little bit. But God has taken the panic attacks away, and He's healed me from them. And I'll thank God for that. Thank God for it.
And we appreciate He's helping you with that, because we want you to still sing for us. But
yeah.
Now you and your wife, Shelly.
My little Shelly.
And
my baby.
You guys had some problems early on. You guys were trying to you said you had 2 miscarriages. You were trying to have a baby, and that was really emotional for you and your wife for a while.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
You want me to tell you that story?
Yeah. They want to hear the story.
I'll never forget this. I remember when she told me about her being pregnant for the first time. We had built this little house in Kentucky, and little did we know that now I'm experience is everything, isn't it? I mean, really it is. You learn a lot from learning. You know a lot from learning stuff, And so anyways, we built a little house, small little house. It was wonderful. It's cute, And there in Kentucky. But the bad thing is the guy that dug our footer, he also leveled the land for us, but he took every bit of the topsoil off the land, which is so bad. I mean, in Kentucky, you have to get a septic tank because it's not hooked to, all of the system or whatever. And so to get that to perk and all that kind of stuff, it was just a mess, It was like if we would have left it alone, it'd have been fine. But there was another problem too. You couldn't get grass to grow on clay because all the topsoil was gone. And so I'm doing everything in my power to get the grass to grow. And I remember my granddad told me, he said, one time I heard him because we were planting beans, and I was putting beans in the setter, and I was putting fertilizer in there as well, and I would always help him. And I was pouring fertilizer in. It was 10. And some of you that have planted before and stuff, you know what 10 is. And I heard my granddad say, man, I'm going to tell you what, this 10 will make anything grow. Well, I went out and got me some 10 fertilized because I'd had some little sprigs starting to come up in the yard, little grass sprigs. And it was about 101 degrees outside. And I took that 10 and I spread that all over that clay ground. And I was watching. I mean, you could literally see it dying before your eyes. It was like I sprayed Roundup on the ground. And it was awful. I mean, I was praying that it didn't catch on fire. It was so dry. And so I'm out there and I've got the water hose and I'm watering the dirt. Wasn't watering the grass, I was watering the dirt. And so I'm watering the dirt and I'm mad, I'm frustrated, I'm hot, I'm aggravated, I'm proud of the house, I'm upset about the yard. And my wife comes out and she says, Jason, I got something to tell you. So I walk up and she goes, you're going to be a daddy. I like to have passed out. Right there, I don't know if it was from heat exhaustion or anger or whatever, but I walked in and we hugged each other and we laughed and we cried together. We held each other. I think I even kissed her a time or two. And probably about 6 or 7 weeks after that, we started having complications. And I'll never forget it. The woman, my helpmate, the love of my life, the one that, I could work hard to provide for her. I work at anything to fix whatever she needs fixed. At this moment in my life, there was nothing that I could do. It was out of my hands. And I remember she told me that she said, I think I've lost the baby. And I wanted to fix that pain for her, that disappointment, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And we prayed together. I was there for her. I wrapped my arms around her and loved and prayed and cried together. We did that. She got pregnant again. And same thing happened. And I've never seen a woman, she's just tough. Broken, but tough. The second miscarriage that we had, we were scheduled to do a photo shoot that day for a big magazine at the time for a Thanksgiving photo shoot. Thanksgiving dinner photo shoot. So all the family's going to be together and we're going to take pictures sitting around a table about giving thanks to the Lord. And we just lost our second baby minutes before the photo shoot. I wanted to call, I wanted to tell everybody, I wanted to go, we're not doing this. We're not doing this photo shoot. We're not doing it. It's just too painful right now. And she said, well, come on, there ain't nothing we can do about it. Let's go. Let's go do this. We got to take care of business. And we walked in there. We sat down together and we put a smile on. And we took the photos. And after the photos, we had to deal with that. But there was a pastor that came to me and said, to pray over us. And he said, Jason, you and Shelley go get you a bag of Pampers and you put that bag of Pampers up where you can see it every day that you wake up, every morning. And you thank God for the promise that's on the way. And our third pregnancy was a success. Our fourth one was too.
And you have two little girls, well, not little girls. They're how old?
Oh, that's a whole nother story.
They're teenagers. He has two teenage girls.
16 and 14 years old.
And they're dating. I can just.
They both have little boyfriends. One, you know what it's like. You know what I'm saying? People think things so serious now. It's like, and it is some serious stuff. But my 14-year-old, she sent me a picture the other day of the little boy that she likes, and we talk about everything. I mean, we really do. We sit and talk about everything. My kids. I mean, I'm talking like girl stuff. Wow. I mean, I'm talking like girl stuff, like stuff. And we talk about it.
You mean like we like to go shopping?
Not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about
You're talking medical things.
I'm talking real girl stuff, like, Dad, you know why I'm a little aggravated. It's my time. And we talk about it. And I said, was there anything you need? And so we'll just go do. I mean, they tell me everything.
What a good dad.
Well.
What a good dad.
I love my babies.
You're a good dad and a good husband.
I love my wife.
And you have integrity. I appreciate that about you. Let me ask you a question about if you could do anything else. This is going to be, I haven't told you this question, but
no, this is fun questions.
It's going to be something maybe you haven't been asked before. But if you were not a musician or a singer, what would you do? Like, is there some like crazy hidden? See, he's like, oh,
if I wasn't a singer or a musician, I would be retired.
No, that's not a good answer. Like,
it's the best answer that there is.
Would you be a golfer? Would you be like, do you have some kind of...
I hate golf.
Okay,
I absolutely hate golf.
But is there some like...
Last time I went and played golf, I hit a ball about as far as from here to the end of this stage. Went up and hit it again. They would say, "Go, just hit another ball. Just hit another." I said, "Nope, I'm going to play it right where it's at." Went up and hit it again. It went half that distance. I grabbed my clubs and went straight to the car, left the ball out on the field, and went home. And I said, "That's it. I'm done. I'll never play again." Now, I love basketball. For some reason, I feel like this went down. I don't know why. Did it turn down?
So you want to be a professional basketball player?
I did. I wanted to play.
There you go.
Basketball.
You thought about being a professional.
For Kentucky. Yeah.
For Kentucky. That's where you grew up,
Kentucky
right?
Wildcats. Yeah.
You grew up in Kentucky.
I grew up in Kentucky. I wanted to play for them.
Like, did you want to play?
That was my goal.
In high school, this was your goal?
I played basketball from sun up to sundown.
Really?
Every day in my younger, teens and preteens. I played every day. That's what I wanted to do. And then some things happened in life that I really got discouraged, and which I started running with the wrong crowd.
In high school?
It was right before junior high.
Junior high? You
Yeah.
got with the wrong crowd.
Yeah, I got with the wrong crowd, started doing things that I shouldn't.
How long did that last?
Oh, it didn't last long.
That's
About
good.
a year. But, 2.
And then you went into music, and we're grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell us of how the song, this is so interesting to me, how did you get a Gary LaVox Rascal Flat song leader to be in your current album with you in a song? Is it called Being a Friend, or what's the name of the song?
Chose to Be My Friend.
Chose to Be My, yeah.
Your husband likes that song.
Well,
He told me, he said, look, you got to do that song.
I know he did.
And so we're going to do it again tonight, just for him.
Now, the Rascal Flats
Yeah, are my
singers,
friends.
And the one of the Rascal Flats, Joe Don Rooney, and I.
They're my friends.
Joe Don grew up in my hometown. Joe Don Rooney grew up.
Is he your friend?
Yeah. He was in my little brother's class growing up. So Joe Don Rooney was.
Really?
And his sister was my age.
Man, he is a great guitarist.
He's a great guitarist. And he's super tall. I'll tell you a story about Joe Don.
Yeah.
He played football when he was younger.
Was he good?
Well, my dad was coaching when they were young, like in grade school. And my dad was pretty good in football. He played football in college. And they come off after the game, they were walking off the field. And Joe Don and my dad were talking. And my dad said to Joe Don, and Joe Don said, I want to grow up and be a famous singer, famous country singer to my dad.
Really?
Yeah, like in 6th grade. And I want to sing and play the guitar. And my dad said, well, that's probably good because you're sure not going to play professional football. That's my dad always tells that story. But yeah, but now tell us, because we want to know, how did you get a song with Gary LaVox?
Okay, so Jay DeMarcus and I are friends.
And that's the other guy in the group.
That's the other
Jay.
guy in the group.
And he lives close to you or something?
He started singing Christian music. A friend of mine by the name of Michael English, which him and Jay are friends. And so I met Jay through them. And Jay said, I'd like to work with you sometime on a record, produce. And so, man, I was over the top about that. And so we became friends. And he produced my last record called Unexpected, which won a Grammy.
I know. Congratulations.
What about that?
It's awesome.
To God be all the glory on that, because I'm too ignorant to figure out how to do that. So, but he produced it, and we did that song, Chose to Be My Friend. I'd come up with the arrangement on it back years ago. And he goes, you know who's going to sound good on that song? And that would be Gary LaVox. And I said, do you think he'd do it? And he said, yeah, I'll call him. He goes, wait, you ought to call him. Because we had been friends. And so I called him and asked, and he was like, yeah, man, we'll do it. And so Jason Sheff from the group Chicago, you remember the song, when you see me walking by and the tears are in my eyes, look away, hey, look away, don't look at. I'd cry when I'd hear that song. Don't look at me. I was like, that's the saddest song ever. To see me this way. Anyways, the writer of that, he sang on that record, on that song as well with Gary LaVox. So we had a guy from Chicago and then also the Rascal Flatts singing on that song.
That's awesome.
Isn't
Have
that
you all
fun?
heard that song? You need to. It's awesome on your latest album. And expect the unexpected.
Yep.
All right, let's see what other questions I have on here. What do you like to do in your free time? What do? You don't like golf, we know that. Do you play basketball anymore?
You want me to tell you the truth?
Well, that's why I'm asking. I don't want you to lie. We're having a Christian event. So tell us the truth. You opened that right up, you know. You want me to tell you the truth? Yeah, lie to the people. Go ahead.
You want me to lie to them?
Yeah.
I love to play golf. The things that I love to do when I'm at home, this is what I love to do. I had a friend of mine know how much that I love my grandparents, how much that place means to me in Kentucky, little blue house there. And that's a whole nother story, my grandparents' home. My grandfather taught me to drive in a 1977 Ford pickup truck, 3-speed on the column. And so anyways, my friend found out what kind of truck it was and found one in an old barn, fixed it up, brought it to me, and gave it to me. The thing that I love to do is get in that old truck and hear that straight six. It don't sound mean at all. It just barely puts around. And I love to hear that because it takes me back to those times right with my grandfather.
I'm Dr. Marla from Dr. Marla Ministries, and I'm so excited about this program called All Things Are Possible. You know, Scripture says, with man it's impossible, but with God all things are possible. This ministry believes that all things are possible for you. With God, all things are possible. That means God has things in your life that you don't even think are possible can happen for you. God says He knows the plans He has for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, give you a hope and a future. This ministry is taking the gospel into the world. We're reaching the brokenhearted, the needy, the lost, those that need encouragement. So we'd like to ask you to partner with us. You can partner with us in several ways. Number one, you can go to my website, go to drmarla.org, go to partnership. And if the Lord leads you, you could give a financial seed. That would help us get on more TV networks to spread the good news of the gospel. We can also connect with you on social media. Go to Dr. Marla _ for Instagram or Twitter, or you can go to my Facebook page, go to Dr. Marla, and we're going to spread this good news through every way possible, through social media, TV network, and we are here to help you. We want to help you get above your circumstances. We want to help you rise above all those brokenhearted things that are happening in your life. We want you to go to higher depths and higher levels with the Lord, because the Lord is our only hope. So join me, go to drmarla.org, and we'd like to partner with you and help you with what you need.